Carbon is a condition for life on Earth, required to form complex molecules like proteins and DNAs. This element is also found in our atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide. Carbon helps to regulate the Earth's temperature, makes all life possible, and is a key ingredient in the food that sustains us and provides a major source of the energy to fuel our global economy. The carbon cycle describes the process in which carbon atoms continually travel from the atmosphere to the Earth and back into the atmosphere. Since our planet and its atmosphere form a fused environment, the amount of carbon in this system does not change. Where the carbon is located in the atmosphere or on Earth is constantly in flux. On Earth, most carbon is stored in rocks and sediments, while the rest is located in the ocean, atmosphere, and in living organisms. These are the reservoirs or sinks through which carbon cycles. Carbon is released back into the atmosphere when organisms die, volcanoes erupt, cars blaze, fossil fuels are burned, and through a variety of other mechanisms. In the case of the ocean, carbon is continually exchanged between the ocean surface, waters, and the atmosphere, or is stored for a long period of time in the ocean depths. Humans play a major role in the carbon cycle through activities such as the burning of fossil fuels for land development. As a result, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is rapidly rising. It is already considerably greater than at any given time in the last 100 years.
A biogeochemical cycle refers to the natural pathway that is essential in the circulation of living matter and essential elements. Unlike energy that flows one directionally, chemical compounds are conserved and recycled. All organisms are made up of molecules, built from 6 elemental components we call SHNOPs, or carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, respectively. Carbon is the 4th most abundant element in the universe. It is the building block of life, making every living organism on Earth carbon-based molecules. However, carbon is also what weakens life, with humans being its catalyst. This includes the burning of fossil fuels in recent years that contributes to the formation of high concentrations of carbon dioxide gas, which destroys the atmosphere. A steady state is a condition when variables in a system remain constant over time while there is flow in the system. Ecological reservoirs are places where elements like carbon interact with living organisms and their physical environment, which includes all natural systems on Earth. The movement of carbon through reservoirs can be linked to almost every system on Earth. In the air, carbon is introduced from the respiration of animals and plants. It can also come from the combustion of different materials such as fossil fuels or volcanic eruption. In land and water, carbon assimilates into the soil or marine floor through plants and animals, with chalk forming in marine deposits. Similarly, through organic decomposition, dead matter will form into fossil fuel depending on certain conditions such as pressure and heat.
Maintaining the balance between carbon levels is essential to sustain life on Earth, but humans have upset this balance and caused the carbon cycle to change. Each year, we are moving more and more carbon into the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels, cutting down forests, changing land use, and using limestone to make concrete. As a result, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is rapidly increasing. It is already greater than at any time in the last 800,000 years. Excessive carbon emissions in the form of carbon dioxide and methane add to the greenhouse effect and lead to global warming. As the Earth's climate dramatically alters, wildlife ultimately suffers the consequences of the changing carbon cycle. The rising global temperatures cause glaciers to melt and sea levels to rise, consequently destroying fauna's natural habitat. Ocean acidification due to excessive carbon dioxide levels in oceans likewise threatens marine life across the globe. Now, what will happen when fauna can no longer adapt to their changing environment?
Epigenetics is the study of how cells control gene activity without changing the DNA sequence. It may occur by controlling molecules attaching to particular cells or by turning genes to switch on or off. If you are wondering, does the environment really have an effect on epigenetics? Well, the answer is yes. Environmental factors such as food, exposure to toxins, or the surroundings can cause epigenetic changes in the DNA. When this happens, there will be a structural change which can result in alteration of gene activity. These changes are heritable. However, the patterns of epigenetic modification will vary from every species. It may create dramatic changes by switching genes, creating errors during epigenetic processes, which can lead to abnormal activity or inactivity. A good example of an epigenetic effect is the AVI genes, short for agouti viable yellow, present in genes of mice. If the AVI gene has little or no methylation, it will result to a yellow coat. These yellow mice are susceptible to development of diseases such as obesity, diabetes, or certain cancers. But if AVI is hypermethylated, this implies that the mouse has a brown color and has no health problem. This case is heritable and it may be caused by a change of diet and or intake of toxins from a pregnant mice.
Now we are going to talk about invasive species. What is an invasive species? In simple terms, a non-native species create environmental or economical damage in a new environment. How do invasive species spread? According to National Wild Federation, sometimes human activities are the primary and intentional way to spread invasive species. People and the things we use to migrate worldwide might bring unwelcome species. Bilge water of ships can carry aquatic creatures and also the propeller of smaller boats. Insects may get inside wooden materials, cargo crates, and other items sent throughout the world. In addition, certain invasive species is purposefully or unintentionally released pets. What are the threats it poses on faunas? Invasive species affect faunas in a variety of ways. There may be no natural predators or restrictions when a foreign and invasive species is introduced into an environment. It can produce swiftly and spread, effectively taking over an area. Native fauna may lack the ability to defend themselves against the intruder or compete with a predator species.
This video, biogeochemical cycle with ecological reserve fauna environment, the anthropogenic effects, its invasive species, and epigenetics has been briefly discussed for our knowledge. In this video, biogeochemical cycle, with that being said, it can be concluded from the abnormality of the carbon cycle can affect the fauna and produce disaster to everyone. Let's act now before it's too late. People need to know